Hi everyone, and welcome to Crockett on the Trail. Today we're going to be going over my equipment list of everything that I'll be bringing on my through hike northbound along the Appalachian Trail. It's going to include some of the things I am swapping out from my usual equipment list and some of the hard choices that I'm planning to make my load a little lighter and hopefully my journey a little easier. So let's get to it. So here's what I would typically bring on a 4 to 7 day hiking trip. It's quite a lot, more than most people would bring, certainly more than anyone would normally bring on a through hike, but it's what I'm comfortable with. I'm going to have to make some tough choices, maybe pare down from what currently is about a 30-pound base weight to somewhere a little over 20. We'll see how it goes. So first off, I have to take a look at my backpack, and what I've been using for a number of years is a Gregory 90-liter huge backpack. It carries everything I need. I can carry everything internally, don't have to put anything on the outside. If I was to carry everything that we have on the table right now, I'd have to use this pack, but as we've said, I got to pare things down, so it's going to have to go. Instead, we're going to be using an Osprey 58-liter pack. It's going to have enough capacity for what I hope to be able to get down to. I don't know if it's going to all fit. We're going to make a good look at it and see how it goes. Next is my sleeping system. I'm going to be staying with my Thermarest self-inflating air mattress. It's perfect for what I use. It packs well. I'm also going to stay with my sleeping bag. I enjoy it. It's rated for 20 degrees. That should be good enough for me. One thing I will be adding is a sleeping bag liner. I've never used one before, but this is so light, a little pricey, but at the same time, I think it'll be nice for some of those colder early season days and maybe later in May. So I'll keep it for now. If it gets a little warmer, maybe I'll send it home until I'm ready to use it again. As for my tent, for years I've been using a Sunapee EMS 3-person tent. It's been just the right size for my wife Julie and I. It's a little heavy. It's just more than I need for this particular trip. So I'm going to be swapping it out for a Big Agnes copper spur 2-person ultralight tent. It's a semi-freestanding. It does have poles. I know a lot of people like to get away from that these days, but I like the semi-freestanding. I think it just makes it a little easier in certain conditions. So I'm going to be going with that, probably saving 2 or 3 pounds by making that swap. For hiking poles, I was always happy with the hiking poles I've been using for many, many years. You can see they're well worn, but because of that, I think it might be time to swap them out for a new pair. I just don't want to be stuck in a position where I don't have functional poles. So just trading them out for a set of new ones. These are a little lighter. I think they're going to work just as well, but a little more confident with a new set. For footwear, I have my Merrell hiking boots. I've always worn Merrells. I love them. They get me through what I need to do. They keep my feet dry for the most part. But I do know for a through hike, once your boots get wet, they're going to stay wet. So I'm going to heed to most people's advice, and these will go. I was thinking of going with these, which are hiking shoes, kind of a hybrid between the boot and maybe a trail runner. But I've decided these are also a little heavier than I want to go with. I may switch back to these, but for now, I'll be going with my Ultra Trail Runners. I've tried these out. They are nice. They're so much lighter, and I think they'll dry out a lot faster along the trail. So we'll see how it goes. This is an experiment. Most people on the Appalachian Trail use trail runners. I hear like up to 95% at this point. And old school people like me, we still like the boots, but I'm going to try. So we'll see. For hats, I love my old hiking hat. I've been using this for many, many years. I love it. It's going to stay. There's more practical ones, of course, but I love it. So it's coming. So for clothing, we can start with my puffy. For the colder days, you know, I like this. It's my EMS blue puffy. Been using it for a while, but I'm going to swap it out for something a little better rated. This LL Bean puffy is a little warmer, just softer. I have tried it. I like it, so we're going to go with that. For my mid layer, I had always used this nice, thick, I don't even know what brand it is. It was a gift, but I like it. But it's just a little heavy, so I'm going to cut a pound or so off and just go a little lighter. You know, I'm a little concerned about warmth, but this is you know, a very nice just you know, polyester mix, and I think that's going to work out well. As far as my outer shell goes for pants and raincoat, you know, I got this. This is another gift I got. It works. It's fine. Columbia. But I have noticed that I wear it and I still get wet. So, you know, if you're getting wet with a raincoat, it's probably not the right raincoat. So that's going to go, and I'm going to replace that with a Patagonia. It's a nice brand. A little heavier actually, but I think it's going to be also a little warmer, and it's going to work as a windbreaker a little better. So that's going to be a nice swap there. As far as pants go, I used to have rain pants, and then I would wear just cargo pants as for colder days. What I'm going to do this trip is I'm going to get rid of both and swap them out for some hiking pants that have rain resistance. So it's going to be, you know, instead of having two, I'll just carry the one. It's a lighter combination, and I think that's going to work out well. As far as most of my other clothes, it's more a matter of just subtracting what I'd normally bring. For underwear, you know, I'm going to go down from, you know, 3 to 2. And then socks, I usually carry 4. I'm going to go down to 3. I know a lot of people like 2, but I'm just going to get rid of one big wool set and just go with my typical 3. Shorts, not changing. I usually just bring a light set of shorts. That'll be fine. And then t-shirts, again, usually I'll go with up to 4. I'm going to cut that down and get rid of 1, get it down to 2. And then as far as my base layers and for sleeping, again, nothing different than what I normally would use, just long bottoms and tops. I'm going to try to keep these dry all the time. When I go to bed at night, this is what I'll be wearing, and that should work out well. So as for my cooking systems, nope, we got little Sasha here, wants to say hi. I've been using a Jetboil for a number of years. It's a very good system, but it's a little big, a little heavy. So I'm going to pare that down and go with a more classic, just small pot and a small burner. A little lighter, not as efficient, but it's a reasonable sacrifice for cutting back on some weight. Also cut back on weight. I usually carry a full propane burner gas tank. Instead, I'm going to go to a half size to cut down on weight. I'm not going to be doing too much cooking, but it'll be there when I need it. As far as, you know, my food pack, I carry a typical small pack for my food and for my cookware. You know, I'll be able to hang it with typical stuff. I use this small backpack as a rock bag for getting my rope over limbs, and a small lighter. As far as food goes, I'm kind of a big eater on trail, so I'm not going to go over it, but these are just you know, typical foods and treats, snacks, things like that. As far as cups go, I usually carry just a crappy old cup, but I'm going to go a little more efficient to a collapsible type. It's easy to pack, a little lighter weight. And then as far as water goes, I'm not changing anything. So Sawyer Squeeze Mini collection system. But what I will be changing is, instead of my typical Nalgene bottles. I know a lot of people are getting away from these. They're heavy, they're bulky, they're not super efficient. And I'm going to follow the typical swap that most people have done at this point and switch over to smart water bottles. So, as for electronics, typically I would bring a solar-powered recharging bank. It's just not going to be efficient on the AT for a couple reasons. It's very heavy, of course, and more importantly, it really doesn't work because there's not enough light. They call the AT the green tunnel for a reason. You just don't get a lot of sunlight. It's not worth the wait, so I'll be swapping this out for a couple of these Nitecore cells. These work great. They can recharge a phone a couple times, maybe 3 times each, as well as other electronics and some of the other things I'll be bringing. I'll have my earbuds. I will be bringing a headlamp, of course, but I'll be swapping that out as well for a Petzl rechargeable one. And it's a little lighter. And of course, being rechargeable has its options or benefits too. So that'll be great. And then of course, we have our typical cords to go with it. And then one more addition I'll be bringing is a Garmin watch. I've been wearing a watch since the cell phone age came in, but it's a nice backup. It also has a lot of extra features that I think will be beneficial for the trip. So I'm going to be carrying that too. And as far as other equipment goes, I like to carry a knife. Generally, I carry a nice retractable one. It's very efficient, but at the same time, there's certain states that I'll be going through that don't necessarily take kindly to retractable knives. So I don't want to run into any issues with that. So I'll be moving from that to just a more common pocket knife. I'll also be wearing my sunglasses, regular glasses. Nothing's changing there. Bandanas, always bring a couple. They're very handy. I usually bring a towel with me. I like having a towel to dry off when I get into camp. Just this one's a little big, even though it's been really great for what I use. But I'm gonna swap that out for something a little smaller. You know, hopefully this will dry out enough for me to get enough use for what I normally get. But if not, then, you know, I'll just have to live with it. Hand warmers, always like a couple. Just the typical stuff for personal gear. Everyone's got their own choices for what they bring. This is probably what most people bring. We all have our own choices for that. So I'm keeping everything that I normally carry. I'm used to it. I'm going to keep it. As far as camp shoes, some people call it a luxury. I love camp shoes. I get into camp, I like to get off my footwear. They're usually wet. Put on something that's a little more easy to get into. Get up in the middle of the night, you want to put something on nice and easy. So I believe in camp shoes. Even on a long through hike, it's still worth it to me. These Under Armour slippers, they've outworn their welcome. I've got a lot of use out of them, but it's time to move on. A friend recommended these UFOs. Is that what you say? I don't even know it, but they're light, super light. A lot of people say Crocs are the way to go. I don't know. My daughter loves Crocs. I just can't do it, but I like these, so we're going to go with these. And then finally, I carry a little wallet with all of my cash cards, everything else I need to it, put in my hiking belt. And that covers everything. And this is the final set of equipment that I plan to be bringing with me. It doesn't look much different than what we started with. It's maybe almost a little more looking, but in terms of weight, it's quite a bit less. I've weighed everything out. I'm down from about 30 pounds to about 22, and that's great for me. For a lot of ultralight types, it's almost appalling that much weight. But for what I'm used to, I think it's going to be just about right. If not, then I can make some changes along the way. But for now, I'm pretty satisfied. Let's see how it all gets into the pack. Okay, so it looks like everything made it into the pack. The tent is external, but everything else is pretty compact and well-fitting. So pretty happy with that. The last thing I'm going to be doing is putting this into a carrying case for checking in luggage at the airport. I'm going to be flying to Atlanta tomorrow, so I'm going to get this guy hopefully in here today. We'll see. just thought a pack inside of a duffel would travel a little better and less chance of having any issues with checked luggage. So this looks like it fits just right. Okay, so we're all set to go, and wish me luck.
Good luck.